Okay, to download photos and upload them to WeVideo requires a certain amount of skills, steps, and citing your sources. So let's start by downloading. Let's say I'm doing a story on Kobe Bryant. So I would do a search for Kobe Bryant. And most of you know that you go to images, but what a lot of people don't know is that you can also go to tools, size, and large, which is going to be required because we broadcast high definition, and so low quality pictures will look terrible. So you will be required to have the size of at least 1000 by 1000. This is the pixel size of each picture. How do you determine that? Well, let's say I like this picture here. I click on it, and then I look down here at the bottom left to see what my numbers are. So this one is 1919 by 1080, which means both sides are 1000 or higher. So that means I can use this picture. If one side was lower than 1000, I cannot use that picture. Since I know I can use this, my next step is to download it. So I will right click on this picture. Do not right click and download any of the thumbnails from Google because these are smaller, so they have time to load. So do not download ever from the thumbnails. Always go to the big picture, right click, save image as, and then I like to give mine a name because sometimes you'll get a long string of address and you'll never remember what it is. So I always like to rename my pictures. And so I'm going to call this Kobe D, since I have some other Kobe pictures that distinguishes it. And make sure you pay attention to where it's downloading. So like mine is going to my downloads folder. The reason you need to know this is so when you upload from WeVideo, you know where to find it. All right. You also, one other step, make sure that where it says save as type, make sure this is a JPEG or PNG. If you ever see web, W-E-B, that will not work. So don't download any web files. In that case, you would cancel and go download another file. But this is a JPEG, so I can click save. And now that downloads my picture, but I am not done. Now I need to source the file, so I give credit to where credit is due. Now, here's what you do not do. You don't come up here and use google.com. Google.com is not a source. How do I find the source of this picture? Well, I click on it. And then what this does is it takes me to its home, which is right here. So I'm going to highlight that URL, right click, and copy. And now I've got to put that source in my WeVideo. So let me show you how to upload your video or your picture and how to cite it. So let's go ahead and go to WeVideo. And I'll start a new project. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and upload my picture of Kobe. So what I do is, as long as I'm under my media, I go to import, click browse, and this is where I had to remember the folder where it downloaded to. So you can see PC downloads, and there it is, Kobe D. So I click on that, and now it's uploading it right here to my gallery. So now I'm going to drag this down to my video one timeline. And now remember, you still need to cite the source. So there's two ways to do this. You need to use text box for either one. So you will go to your text. And for something simple like this, I can just bring down a one-line animation. And I'm going to put that on WeVideo 2 over the top of my picture. I will double click the text box, and in here, I will paste my website. All right, this is what I copied from the URL for this picture. But obviously, when I paste it in, this is way too big, and it's right in the middle of my picture. So what I can do is, while I'm in the text box, go to my properties here, and scale this down so it's a decent size, and it's still in the middle. So I want to drag it down. Now I can drag it to the bottom left, bottom right. Some people even like putting it in the middle. It doesn't matter, just as long as it's out of the way and it's small but still big enough to read, and then save changes. Now, you might elect to have it up there the entire time the video or the picture is playing, or maybe you only want it to be up for part of the time, so the rest of the picture shows without it. So it kind of looks like this. And that works as well, whatever your preference is. Now, the other thing you can do, and this works if you have a lot of sources. If you have a lot of sources, or you don't want to put it over the picture, you go back to your text, right? But what I would recommend is go to static on the left side and bring down the basic text, and then paste all your credits in here. This will go at the very end of your document. So you have a credit roll. So you would double click it. And the reason I like this is the basic text gives you as many returns or enters or lines as you want. So I'm going to put this in, and then I'm just going to keep pasting the same line as if I had multiple websites. So let's say I had 5, 6, 7 websites, right? Obviously, we can't read this, so you need to scale it down. So you just come to your scale property, scale it down until you can see all of those on one page. That might be a little too small, so I can size back up a little bit. And there we go. And now I can save changes. So then at the end of my story, I've just got my credits showing in black and white at the end. And that is acceptable. So that's how you upload your photos, and that's how you do your credits.